Hi guys, so a couple of days ago it was reported that Bethesda may actually have a new, as of yet, unannounced title in the works set to be released sometime in 2017. Now, this news came after Bethesda executive Pete Hines mistakenly suggested as much in an interview with Tech Syndicate at PAX 2017. There has been quite a bit of confusion over this matter. Hines first came out and retracted his initial statement, and then a few days later he came out and said, you know what, there is actually an unannounced game. A lot of people were very surprised at the idea. If you look at their release schedule for the rest of 2017, you'll see they have a load of games coming out before the end of the year. Some of these include Wolfenstein: The New Colossus, The Evil Within 2, Dishonored: Death of the Outsider, Quake Champions, and then also Skyrim, Fallout 4, and Doom VR ports. If you ask me, that's a very full release schedule. Obviously, Bethesda does have a few unrevealed titles in the works. Whether or not any of them are going to be released sometime this year is rather debatable. And since this news broke, throughout the internet, gamers have been sharing their opinions with regards to what this unannounced game may actually be. And I thought it might be a little bit interesting to list some of the more popular suggestions and discuss the probability of the notion actually being true. I have narrowed down my list to 4 options, and so here goes, starting with the first option, The Elder Scrolls 6. It has been 6 years since the release of The Elder Scrolls V Skyrim, and thus many feel that Bethesda may be lining up to release another entry into the Elder Scrolls series, particularly as the release period between previous entries into the series were usually about 5 to 6 years in length. Skyrim proved to be highly popular with fans, with Bethesda even famously re-releasing the title for different platforms several times. At this point, you can play Skyrim on PC, Xbox 360, Xbox One, PlayStation 3, although you probably shouldn't, PlayStation 4, and soon on the Nintendo Switch. One cannot underestimate how popular Skyrim actually is with gamers. A lot of people feel that this unannounced game may be The Elder Scrolls 6 and nobody's heard of it because Bethesda doesn't feel that they have to market the series, it sells itself. I do believe though that with Skyrim VR coming out later this year and Hines suggesting that a new entry into the series is a long way off, it is highly doubtful that the unannounced title may be The Elder Scrolls 6, but who knows? Perhaps if one wills it enough, it will come true. Probably not though, but it's worth trying, right? So moving on to number 2, new IP. So it's been suggested that the reason Bethesda is taking very long to release The Elder Scrolls 6 is that they are currently focused on developing a new IP. What exactly this new IP may be is something of even further speculation within the gaming community. There are 2 popular suggestions surrounding this unannounced 2017 title though. Now, firstly, some have suggested that the title may be a sci-fi open-world game called Starfield that will be very similar to the Fallout series and also borrow mechanics from the Elder Scrolls series. Earlier this year, there were some rumors about Bethesda announcing a new title called Starfield at E3, but obviously we know this didn't happen. Although Bethesda has trademarked the name Starfield and has previously stated that they have been working on 3 massive AAA titles for some time, it is important to take any unconfirmed rumors of new titles with a grain of salt. Secondly, with regards to new IP and potential options of an unannounced title, some people do believe that this new game may be a new mobile game. Bethesda has previously stated that they have some sort of mobile game in development. Bethesda already released The Elder Scrolls Legends, a mobile card game based on the lore of The Elder Scrolls earlier this year. It thus may be debatable that they would want to release another mobile game so soon, but it is not entirely impossible. I do think that perhaps the development schedule of a mobile game is less rigorous than that of a AAA game. Moving on to the third point, some people do believe that this unannounced game may be the previously denied Game of Thrones game. A few weeks ago, there was a lot of noise made about a target listing for a Game of Thrones title being developed by Bethesda. Obviously, a lot of people got very excited about this possibility, but unfortunately, the page proved to be a fake, and Bethesda denied that they had been ever working on such a title. Some people do believe that Bethesda only denied working on the title in an attempt to prevent any further information about this game being leaked. Publishers have lied about the authenticity of leaked information regarding an upcoming title before. You see this a lot with games like Call of Duty and Assassin's Creed, where you'll have Activision and Ubisoft coming out saying that, oh, these leaked images are fake, but 2 months later when they reveal the game, they actually turn out to be true. Somehow I don't really think that Bethesda is lying about not developing a Game of Thrones game, particularly when one takes in consideration how easy it supposedly is to create a fake target listing. Personally, the reason I feel this way is that I think that any developer making a title based on Game of Thrones would want to capitalize on the series' large and loyal fandom by creating a hype train so massive that even Hello Games would be proud. I mean, can you imagine if they made a Game of Thrones game? I would be so happy. Moving on to the fourth point, some people do feel that this unannounced game for 2017 may be another Elder Scrolls V Skyrim port, but this time for the PlayStation Vita. Now, if the internet is to be believed, Bethesda will supposedly be releasing Skyrim for microwaves, treadmills, exercise bikes, iOS, Android, and even rocks sometime in the near future. Because you know when fans love something, it is important to kill it. Jokes aside though, I do think that the Nintendo version and VR port will be the last time that we see Skyrim ported to another device. I'll honestly be very surprised if this new unannounced title is a port of Skyrim to a handheld console that is already 6 years old and supposedly did not even sell very well. But you know, stranger things have happened. So, looking at these 4 points, what is the most likely option? Personally, I do think that a mobile title is probably the most likely scenario for this unannounced 2017 game, because I do believe that we probably would have heard something about a larger game if it was a larger game. It is important to note though that everything stated in this video has been speculation. Bethesda has not been very clear as to whether they do have an unannounced 2017 game in the works. They could not. I guess we'll just have to wait and find out. However, regardless of whether they do release another game this year, it is always exciting to know that they are working on something new. I do want to know though, what are your theories on Bethesda's unannounced 2017 game? Do you think that they'll actually release another game this year other than those already scheduled? Please share in the comments down below. And if you liked this video, please remember to subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.